Today from Eagles Stadium, VSE Productions brings you coverage of the Class 4A East Region semifinals as the North Point Eagles host the Old Mill Patriots on the Charles County High School Game of the Week.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Matt Volland along with Roy Anish. Today, the North Point Eagles look to continue their perfect season.
The Eagles completed the regular season with a 10-0 record and a share of the SMAC title, earning the second seed in the 4A East region. Today, they hope to pick up their first ever playoff win. In head coach Kenny Lane's third season, the North Point defense has been dominant, allowing just 5 points per game. Their opponents today, the Old Mill Patriots from Anne Arundel County. Old Mill is 8-2, the third seed in the 4A East, and is ranked number 6 in the Metro Baltimore area. The Patriots will provide a tough test for the Eagles' defense. Coach Damian Ferragamo's team averages 37.5 points per game and has scored more than 40 5 times this year.
Roy, it seems that Old Mill can score on anybody. Who are some of the key players the Eagle defense will have to try to stop today?
When you start and talk about Old Mill, you got to start with number 3, the senior Josh Furman. Good size, 6'2.5", about 200 pounds, but also has that speed. Scored 21 touchdowns this year, and he can take it to the house from anywhere on the field. So North Point is going to have to be aware of Mr. Furman at all times. But they have 2 good running backs. Another one is a senior number 10, Jason Clements. He's had over 900 yards rushing himself and 13 touchdowns. And if this game comes down to a close fourth quarter game, a player to look at for Old Mill is their kicker, number 42, Brad Cummings. He's made 40 out of 41 extra points and 6 out of 8 field goals on the season.
North Point has posted 3 shutouts on the year, and they're hoping that defense can indeed win championships. Who are some of the key players for Kenny Lane on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, on any side of the ball, when you talk about North Point, you've got to talk about number 5, Connor Crowell. The junior is having a banner year, 8.5 tackles a game, 4 sacks, 3 interceptions, but he has this ability to make big plays and change the momentum of the ball game. North Point, an outstanding defensive secondary, 19 picks on the year, and they've returned 5 of those interceptions for touchdowns. And one of those defensive backs, number 9, Jalen Hutchings, has returned 2 interceptions for touchdowns. He's returned a fumble for a touchdown as well. A linebacker, a junior that's having a good year, is Anthony Zozak, 5'11", 210, very strong, and he has 11.5 sacks on the year. So North Point has their work cut out for them. They're going to try to be very, very physical at the point of impact tonight.
It's a battle of contrasting styles today, a powerful offense against a powerful defense. Something's got to give. What do you think will happen today, Roy?
Well, I don't think that, quite frankly, and I might be surprised, that Old Mill will get their average of over 37 points a game. But I'm not sure that North Point can hold them to 5 points a game as well.
Right.
So somewhere in the middle, I think 3 touchdowns could win it, but we'll see. And hopefully for North Point fans, defense wins championships.
It's the North Point Eagles and Old Mill Patriots, the 4A East Region semifinals, here on the Charles County High School Game of the Week.
VSE Productions would like to thank the Sons of the American Legion, La Plata Post 82, and their commander, Dave Tatman, for their continued support of the Charles County High School Game of the Week.
Matt Volland, Roy Anish, Andrew Seeger, and Norman Hill, your Game of the Week crew here at North Point High School. The North Point Eagles try to win their first ever playoff game. Dan Dempsey kicking off for North Point, and whistles blow to stop play. The Eagles won the toss and deferred.
See what the call is. That may have false start against North Point. That kick went to Josh Furman that time, and I'm not sure North Point wants the ball to go to him to try to limit the number of touches he gets.
2 players back deep for Old Mill, Rob Chesson, number 24, and number 8, Dwayne Goddard. You see Dempsey, number 7.
Now they move Furman back deeper in the center of the field. North Point in the black uniforms, red helmets, red numerals. Old Mill, white jerseys, blue numerals, and red helmets.
See Dempsey just like a one-step drop back, fielded by
Chesson.
Takes it out over the 35, where he's buried at about the 37.
Schwartz, number 45, on the initial stop for North Point.
Saturday afternoon affair here at North Point High School. Of course, the problems with the light posts here as made them play day games all season long when
And
they're here at home.
if you will remind me, Matt, I would like to talk to you. I've talked to Kenny Lane before the game about the status of that and what should happen in the next months.
And
Furman.
we expect to see a lot of this. Josh Furman on the first down carry. Maybe a gain of 2.
Connor Crowell right in the middle of that action, as you would anticipate, along with number 2, Jawan Poole.
There you see the North Point defense allowing just 5 points a game on the season, best in the Southern Maryland Athletic Conference.
Power I formation for Old Mill. Joe Thornton is the senior quarterback.
Again, it's Furman on the carry, head down. Got about 2 yards. That'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Old Mill averages 316 yards rushing and 82 yards passing per game.
Quickly back up to the line, call it 3rd down and 4. 2 wideouts here to the near side. Deion Briggs and Chad Hicks, their best receiver, and North Point jumps. We'll see what the call is here.
North Point pointing at Old Mill. Old Mill, we'll see. Officials conferring.
Sun starting to peek out of the clouds a little bit here. Haven't seen that in a couple of days. And it's offsides against North Point, and Old Mill with its first down of the game by penalty.
A hard count, and they drew North Point.
Old Mill Patriots 8-2 overall on the season, a 4-1 road record for 4th-year head coach Damian Ferragamo. Looks like the same formation here. 1st and 10, Patriots from their own 48-yard line.
Randy Spann is the blocking back, and there's a toss sweep to Furman coming to the edge.
Furman makes the corner, gets into North Point territory, knocked down at the 48.
And you see a lot of red jerseys, including Jawan Poole and Cassius Sendish, Gian Allen.
44, Zozak in there.
And that's what Kenny Lane and defensive coordinator Ryan Gick want, is a lot of jerseys on the ball.
Old Mill quickly back up to the line of scrimmage, ready to go here. 2nd down and 6. Briggs in motion to the far side.
Thornton takes it straight ahead, is about 1.5 yards short, the quarterback.
There you get a look at number 7, Joe Thornton. 773 passing yards, 324 rushing yards. Picked up about 3 there to bring up 3rd down and 2.
Clements now in at the tailback position.
Randy Spann, number 4, in at fullback.
QB
And again,
sneak.
Thornton keeps it, and he'll be close to the 1st down.
Connor Crowell down at the bottom of that pile.
Connor Crowell, number 5, one of the players we talked about in the pregame. So active defensively for this Eagles team.
It looks like a little short, Matt.
Yep,
And so
the
officials
referee
are gonna-
taking a look, and he's going to call it 4th down, as you see there. Well, is number 7 going to do it one more time?
He took it over the right side twice. They're looking at Coach Ferragamo to see what his call will be.
So reminiscent of the Potomac offense we saw last night, Roy. They just get up to the line, look to the sidelines for the call.
In structure.
Yes,
Quarterback
not in
sneak.
results.
And I think he's going to get it by about 1/2 yard, Matt.
First down, baby.
We'll see.
First down, baby.
It looks
Yep,
like
they're moving the sticks. 1st down, Old Mill Patriots. The opening possession of the ball game. Old Mill's had it for 2 minutes and 54 seconds.
And they line up right at the line of scrimmage, as you said. I formation.
1st and 10 from the Eagle 41-yard line.
Furman.
Pitch to Furman.
Zozak tripped him up, slowed him down, and that's what you've got to do. You got to put a body on him quick. Don't let him get into space, square his shoulders where he can use that great speed. And it's a luxury, Matt, when you have 2 running backs like Furman and Clemens that you can alternate them and keep them fresh.
Right, you just saw 3 Furman head over to the sidelines. Clements is into tailback. Spann at fullback here on 2nd down and 8. Thornton to pass for the first time on the play action, has some pressure, wrapped up and sacked.
The big guy, Nico Washington, the senior, with his, he has 5.5 sacks on the year, and he got out there and made a nice tackle on Thornton and dropped him for a couple-yard loss. And we'll watch it on replay as Thornton tries to roll, and Nico just cuts off the passing lane and comes right up and makes a good stop and brings up a 3rd and long. And this is one of the things that North Point defensively wanted to do, is put Old Mill in 3rd and long or in passing situations.
North Point defense that had 32.5 sacks during the regular season picks up their first one of the playoffs. 3rd down and 9 as Furman makes a move in the backfield, turns the corner, and has an Old Mill first down inside the 30.
Sendish on the tackle, and that's the speed we talked about with Furman. And they are really up-tempo in it here on North Point, and 7:39 remaining in the first quarter.
Furman over 1,500 yards rushing and 21 touchdowns during the regular season, averaged almost 11 yards a carry.
Clements.
And now Clements in the game, and he's stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
Zozak.
Flag
Poole,
comes in here
Crowell.
late, Roy. I think we've had just one penalty right here in the first quarter, the offsides by North Point, and now a face mask against North Point.
Their 3rd penalty for 25 yards on this opening series of plays.
So this Eagles defense,
5-yard
so tough
penalty
during the regular season. And Old Mill now on a 4.5-minute opening drive here in the first quarter.
1st and short.
Clements in at tailback. Briggs in motion. The give is to Clements.
Nice close by Double C, Connor Crowell, and Jawan Poole was over there. And Crowell very active as a linebacker.
Clements didn't get much, but didn't need much. Moves the sticks, and it's 1st and 10. Old Mill from North Point's 18-yard line.
4 first downs on this drive, Matt.
Furman back in at tailback. Briggs and Hicks the wide outs here near side, but it's Furman taking the pitch. Gets a nice block, makes the corner, and takes it down to about the 12-yard line.
Cassius Sendish, the defensive back, on the tackle. But Furman showing patience there to go along with that speed with a nice 6-yard romp. And there you see Furman looking inside, being very patient, waiting for his blocks to set up, and then turns it upfield. And Sendish, Furman again, runs into the pile, but breaks tackles, and there's that strength. Gets it inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line. He's running hard.
Yeah, Josh Furman. You see why he's the #1 back for the Old Mill Patriots as he bulls his way ahead, and that will make it 1st down and goal, Old Mill, from the North Point 8-yard line. Opening drive of the ball game, and North Point
back on their heels a little bit.
Yeah, Old Mill's had it almost 6 minutes, almost half of the first quarter here. Furman on the carry, makes a cut into the end zone. Touchdown, Old Mill Patriots from 8 yards out. Josh Furman has given Old Mill a 6-0 lead, 5:54 left here in the first quarter.
What a nice cut by Furman there as he read his blocks, and what an impressive drive by Old Mill. Cummings in for the extra point. We said in the pregame, 40 out of 41 PATs this year.
Austin Grist, the holder. Brad Cummings, the senior kicker. North Point got close to it, but Grist puts it in for a 7-0 Old Mill lead. And
Cummings on the kick.
Oh, sorry, Cummings, rather. Let's take a look at Josh Furman.
Right, he bounces it to the outside. He sees where the hole is, and then he turns it inside, and just that quick burst. And Josh Furman has Old Mill on the board.
Emmanuel Anacoya, DJ Briscoe back deep for North Point. The Eagles trailing 7-0, 5:54 left here in the opening quarter.
An impressive first drive by Old Mill. Is lined up at the line of scrimmage, didn't huddle, and basically ran the football and did extremely well.
Cummings to kick. Keeps this one on the ground, fielded by an up man at the 29-yard line. Is that Crowell?
No, I think it's Gian Allen.
Okay. Takes it out to the 44. Good return.
It was Gian Allen, and so they get good field position.
There you see Allen making his way to the North Point sidelines.
He is the North Point punter. Dempsey, the quarterback. Crowell, the up back. Sendish, a wide receiver. And Trey Scott, the tail.
All right, Dempsey up under center, one wide out to the far side. James Holloman. You got Crowell and Scott in the backfield. And Trey Scott on the first down carry, hit in the backfield, struggles ahead to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Tackle was made by number 17, Joe McCargo, a junior linebacker for Old Mill. So very short yardage. The center for North Point is Brian Ball. There you see him coming out over the ball. Ball on the ball.
Second down and 9. Give Scott a short gain on first down. He takes the pitch coming here to the near side. Old Mill strings it out, and nothing doing there.
A.J. Butler shed the block and made the tackle as he went out to the edge, and Old Mill ran to the ball very well, and Butler played that very well.
This is North Point's second ever playoff game. They played here at home last year, a loss to Douglas 32-10. Hoping to pick up their first playoff victory here this afternoon. Last year they played, it was a 2A playoff game. This year they are in 4A. Eagles up to the line of scrimmage, third down and 10. 4:30 left here in the opening quarter. Dempsey back to pass, has pressure. Furman hits him as he throws it past underthrown and almost complete. Good attempt there by Jawan Poole, but just off his fingertips.
And guess where the pressure came from, Matt? Number 3, Josh Furman, showing he can do it on both sides of the ball. He really came backside and almost got to Dempsey there, and his pass was a little high to Sendish.
Take a look at it here on replay, and you see
Furman untouched,
unblocked off the edge and hits Dempsey just as he lets it go. And Poole almost made the adjustment for that catch.
Chad Hicks back deep. A very, very high short kick at the 25.
Angled here to the near side, goes out of bounds, and they'll spot it. Now still coming up to the 33-yard line, so good starting field position for Old Mill's second offensive possession of the first quarter. Patriots lead 7-0, 4:14 left here in the opening quarter. Old Mill comes in off of a loss, 44-38 at Broadneck last week. Team 8-2 overall. They've made the playoffs every year since 2000, so no strangers to the postseason. Clements at tailback, and he's bottled up.
Trying to spin, but Garner with the first contact, and then he got a lot of help from Crowell and others. So a very, very short gain for Clements in a fast-turning first quarter here.
Second down and 9. Briggs again in motion, heading out to the far side. The pitch goes that way. Clements, and he is hit in the backfield, will be dropped for a loss.
Yeah, good pursuit that time by North Point. And 6, Gian Allen had the finish, and here comes a third and long situation. And we'll see the black jerseys right at the point of contact, and they did a very good job of pushing the offensive line back and getting in Clements' face and not giving him a running lane.
Patriots now face third down and 10.
Shotgun formation. Thornton.
Pressure from the backside, wrapped up. No, gets it away to Furman, who makes the catch, but he is wrapped up for a big loss. Great defensive play there by North Point.
Boy, Sozak has made that. He forced that play, and then Darrell Stewart with the tackle on Furman, but good pressure backside. And watch Anthony Zozak just shed the block, and he is right on Thornton and just about has him. And Thornton did very well to get that to Furman.
And then here comes the North Point defense, closing on Furman, dropping him for a loss. It is fourth down and 16. The Patriots to punt for the first time this afternoon.
Leah Davidson, the punter.
Gets the kick away, angles this toward the far side. North Point will have excellent field position
Barely makes the sticks. Yep.
Let it roll out right at the 46-yard line. So North Point in Patriots territory to start their second offensive drive.
All right, the defense did their job on possession number 2. We'll see if the offense. Tony Garner, 50, and Nico Washington, the guards. 55, Cliff McManus. 56, Anthony Gartrell, the tackles. 4 underclassmen and 1 senior on this offensive line.
Scott hitting the backfield, struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage.
21, Avery Taylor slowed him down, and Ole Mill showing some quicks along with number 5 there, A.J. Butler.
Well, we talked a lot about the Ole Mill offense, the Ole Mill defense allowing 18 points a game on the season. That's up from 13 a game they allowed last year.
Coming in, North Point said, we've got to run the football, we've got to be physical at the line of scrimmage, and so far they have struggled a little bit trying to run the football.
1:36 left here, opening quarter. Scott in motion out of the backfield to give to
Jawan
Crowell.
Jawan Poole.
Poole, breaks a tackle at the line and takes it down to the 40, where it'll bring up 3rd and short.
Good, hard run by Poole, showing strength to pick up and make it a 3rd and short situation. Crowell is in now, and Scott is coming out, so you have your 2 power backs in, and watch Poole here as he finds the hole, picks the seam, and drives hard and straight ahead. Crowell, the tailback on this set. Running hard. Oh,
Crowell
first down.
With North Point's first down.
I tell you what, he is the personification of a north-south runner, Matt. He just squares those shoulders and runs north-south. There's no dancing with Connor.
Crowell, 281 rushing yards during the regular season, a 7-yard average, and 7 rushing touchdowns.
Had a 70-yard touchdown run
against Westlake, right? And the
Poole spins to get a couple of extra yards. Running right at Ole Mill. They're in 4-down territory, I would say now. And there's a 3-yard pickup there.
Down to 20 seconds left here in the swiftly moving opening quarter. North Point's offense, almost 27 points a game during the regular season. Down just a little bit from last year's playoff team. But this team this year went undefeated. Perfect 10-0.
Co-champs of the Southern Maryland Athletic Conference for the 2nd year in a row.
And now looking for their first ever playoff victory. First quarter in the books. Ole Mill on a Josh Furman touchdown run leads North Point 7-0. Stick around. We've got second quarter action coming up. You're watching the Charles County High School Game of the Week here on Channel 96. Back here at North Point High School, we'd like to thank the sponsors for our playoff coverage this year. There's head coach Kenny Lane. I'd like to thank Kenny and athletic director A.K. Johnson here at North Point. We covered Westlake and Potomac last night. We'd like to thank Dom Zaccarelli, who is the coach and athletic director at Westlake.
And they found sponsors to do the games, and we really appreciate that. And we're able to bring you these games because of their help.
Trey Scott on the second down carry. Flag comes in late. 2nd down and 7 as we're underway here in the second quarter.
Hard hit there, but see what the call is. Holding North Point. That'll be penalty number 4 on the Eagles, and that's a tough one there.
See Scott take the ball on the handoff and slice in. The flag's going to come in any second now, and there it is.
A hard hit at the end of the play, but so it'll bring up a 2nd and long situation.
Scott on the season, just shy of 1,000 yards, 10 rushing touchdowns, average 7 yards a carry. It's been bottled up so far tonight, and after the penalty, 2nd down and 17, North Point.
Crowell, the up back.
Play action. Dempsey under pressure, hit and sacked back at midfield.
A.J. Butler again. He's got the ball. They got the ball, but they're going to say he was down. But they're coming off the edge at North Point, and they're not getting a back to chip the blitzers. And Butler was on top of Dempsey before he could even look downfield.
So Dempsey tried to pass in the first quarter, was hit by Furman as he let it go. This time sacked back at midfield, and the North Point offense now facing 3rd and 23. So after that short punt, the Eagles looked like they were in business in Patriot territory.
And then that holding call really changed that whole series there.
We saw that last night at Westlake. Costly penalties. Now a passing situation. Dempsey back under pressure, throws the screen inside. Crowell leveled one of the Patriots. Or that's Crowell's helmet came off at the end.
That's all right.
Goodness.
He don't need it. Connor Crowell's as tough as they come, and I'll tell you what, he just keeps adding to his repertoire. An outstanding linebacker, a hard runner, good special teams player. And he took a hard hit, and he held on to the ball. So Gian Allen, the punter. Here, watch Crowell. Watch this hard hit at the end. Right here. Boom. That almost was helmet to helmet, wasn't it?
Get you back out to the field quickly.
Shank there on.
Punt off the side of the foot by Jawan Poole, and that's going to give
Gian Allen.
Allen, I'm sorry. Going to give Old Mill good field position.
Poole was down in punt coverage, and boy, they could have pinned him deep there, but just a short punt.
The spot of the ball will be Old Mill's 38-yard line. And the Patriot offense set to go to work with a 7-0 lead. 10:04 left here in the first half. Furman in at tailback. Spann the fullback.
Toss sweep.
Pitch to Furman. Pops it outside at the 40. 45 in North Point territory. Still on his feet, dragging tacklers down to the 35-yard line.
Jawan Poole on the tackle, but Furman shows you his speed as he just turned it upfield, and that's the 7 first downs for Old Mill. Speed and balance.
Patriots quickly up to the line of scrimmage. The coach is here in the booth for Old Mill, sitting right next to us, yelling, go, Clements. Go, go. And Clements on the first down carry.
Number 47 on the tackle, Jeremy Johnson for, there you see Jeremy for North Point. About a 6-yard gain on first down. They're trying to get him before they can get set.
2nd down and 5 now from the 30-yard line. 2 wideouts here near side, and
I think the left guard moved on offense, but we'll see. What do they call? North Point?
North Point's jumped off sides once already. That came in the first quarter and gave Old Mill a first down. If that's the same penalty, they'll get a first down here again.
I thought I saw a wiggle, but I think they're going to call it against North Point. Long. Yep. The left guard wiggled and forced the infraction. So
Old Mill penalty.
Yep. So moves them back 5.
Second down and 10 now following the penalty. Hicks and Briggs, the wideouts here near side. High formation with Clements at tailback.
Clements picking, and number 18 on the stop, Darrell Stewart for North Point. Boy, they alternate Clements and Furman quite a bit.
All right, Furman, number 3, has just checked back in.
But boy, the center out over the ball immediately, and they're up to the line of scrimmage and ready to go.
3rd down and 7.
Thornton backs off, looks at the coach on the sidelines. We'll see what.
Hicks, their leading receiver, split out far to the right side.
Thornton.
And Thornton throwing it that way. A lot of air underneath, out of the back of the end zone. Hicks made the catch. Oh, my goodness, but he is out of the back and no good. But what a catch.
That wasn't close, though, Matt. It well out of the end zone. And Anthony Prince on the coverage. But Thornton showed you he can air it out there.
And he's got a lot of faith in Hicks to go after it and get it.
There you go. Thornton throwing a really high rainbow pass, and Hicks running, but just ran out of real estate. Prince is right there.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the coverage, but what a catch, as you see, out of the back of the end zone. And brings up 4th down and 7. And the Old Mill offense will stay on the field. It's at the North Point 32-yard line. The Patriots to go for it here. 4 wideouts, and Thornton out of shotgun. Rolls to the right, throws complete to Hicks for a Patriot first down.
I was impressed by that play by Thornton. Boy, he just rolled, bought space, boom, got rid of that ball, and that's 8 first downs for Old Mill. And these guys are all seniors, Matt, so they're all familiar with this offense, and they are clicking here early.
Another look at it as Thornton rolls out and hits Hicks for the first down. From the 20-yard line, Furman on the carry. Nice move at the line, still on his feet. Furman for another first down inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal, Old Mill.
Got a nice block from 70, Corey Bill, the offensive lineman, and Furman showing you why he's such a highly touted Division I prospect.
First down and goal, Furman
bounces it.
On the carry.
Allen there, Washington there. He has some nice cuts. I mean, he's just not a speedy guy. He's rangy, but he has good vision, good feet.
Have you mentioned any of the teams he's
yeah,
been offered?
I will.
All right, he's got 4.36 speed, showing it here today. 2nd down and goal from the 5-yard line.
Fumble, ball on the carpet at the 4-yard line.
Good shot there. Cameraman Andrew Seeger in nice and tight.
Old Mill evidently recovered, didn't they? Jawan Poole is down and shaken up on the play for North Point.
I think the official indicated 3rd down. Wasn't very demonstrative about it, but Old Mill will keep the ball following the fumble.
Here's a big stop right here for North Point. They just you don't want to get down 2 touchdowns.
Patriots picked up about a yard on the fumble, so 3rd and goal from the 4. Thornton up under center. Furman hitting the backfield. And now bottled up
at the 3-yard line. Cliff McManus, and I think you're going to see Brad Cummings as Old Mill will try to get up by 2 scores here.
Cummings, as Roy said in the pregame, 6 field goals on the season, and this one just a little chip shot. Be a 21-yard attempt.
Poole flying off the edge.
Looked like he pulled that a little bit to the left, but enough room for error. Punched it through from 21 yards out. Old Mill with the field goal, and now a 10-0 lead. 6:29 left here in the first. Stick around. We've got more action coming up. You're watching the 4A East Region semifinals here on the Charles County High School Game of the Week.
The Charles County High School Game of the Week is brought to you exclusively by VSE Productions. Log on to our website, vseproductions.com, for stats, standings, video highlights, and to order a copy of any Game of the Week broadcast. For more information, you can email us at gameoftheweek@vseproductions.com.
Brad Cummings, 42, the Old Mill kicker, with his 7th field goal of the season, putting the Patriots up 10-0. 6:25 left here in the opening.
He squibbed the first kick. We'll see if he does it again. Pooch kick.
This one's high and short, fielded at the 16-yard line.
By number 29 on the return for
DJ Briscoe takes it out near the 30-yard line. There's a good shot of Briscoe.
North Point, 1 first down in the first half. Old Mill, 9 first downs. They've controlled the clock. They've controlled the tempo. They've controlled the scoring.
North Point coming into this playoff game following a 34-14 win over Thomas Stone a week ago, and a fairly easy victory, and you wonder if that was not a lot of help coming into this one. Dempsey out of shotgun.
Anakoya to Holloman. James
Holloman makes the corner at the 40, 45. Did he
Nice
step
cut.
out? No, he's still going into Old Mill territory, rather, inside the 40-yard line.
Good cut by James Holloman. Boy, they needed that big play. And Anakoya came out and tried to give him a block, and Holloman turned a receiver screen into big yardage. There you see him coming, and just got to the edge, and there was no blockers. There was a blocker there, but no defenders, and Holloman turns it up, and watch him make a nice cut right here, coming up where he'll stop, plant, cut to the inside, and pick up another 5 or 6.
Did a good job to tightrope that sideline, gives North Point's offense some life now. 1st and 10 from the Old Mill 35, a collision in the backfield, and Dempsey, wow, great play there to pick that up and save a potential turnover.
Yeah, after getting that big play, they lose 2 on that one. Dempsey coming to the sideline to talk to head coach Kenny Lane.
This Old Mill team made the playoffs last year. As I said, they made it every year this decade. They lost 28-21 against Severna Park in the first round last year. Their best ever playoff finish, a state semifinal appearance in 2005. Loss of 2 on the fumble brings up 2nd down and 12. Trey Scott alone in the backfield. Dempsey to pass, under pressure, hit as he throws. And this one intercepted by Old Mill, and guess who?
Josh Furman and Dempsey got leveled, and the ball floated, and boy, Furman is just doing everything.
So Dempsey, every time he goes back, is facing tremendous pressure. Hit there.
It was a penalty on North Point, and it's declined, and Old Mill will take over. And there you see Dempsey trying to plan, and there's pressure right up the middle, and he has just got to throw the ball to get rid of it, and he floats it, and Furman's everywhere on the field today and made a nice pick.
Josh Furman with the pick thwarts that North Point drive, the best of the game for the Eagles, and now it's Old Mill 1st and 10 from its own 28-yard line.
Quarterback sneak by Thornton to the 30-yard line. Short yardage.
Thornton 324 rushing yards during the regular season and 5 touchdowns. There you see the North Point defense needs to find an answer here, trailing 10-0, 4:39 left here in the first half.
Furman,
the tailback.
Jawan Poole, who was banged up earlier, number 2, came in and made the stop. But Furman keeps his feet moving. Comes Clements in replacing him.
6, Chad Hicks, their leading receiver, split out here to the near side along with Dion Briggs. See if quarterback Thornton goes to the air here on 3rd down and 6 from the 32, and a timeout on the field called by the Old Mill offense. We will take a timeout as well. 4:06 left here first half. North Point trails 10-0.
There is Dan Dempsey, the quarterback, and number 1, James Holloman, the wide receiver that had that nice run, a flanker reverse, and before North Point turned it over.
Sitting on the bench right now watching the North Point defense, hoping they can hold here on 3rd down and 6 for Old Mill, and a flag comes in.
See what the call is. 4:06 remaining.
They're going to pick the flag up, wave it off. All right. Here we go again. 3rd down and 6. North Point jumping at the line, and did they jump?
I think this is going to be an encroachment penalty against North Point, but could be wrong. Yep.
Nope, you're right this time. Offsides against North Point, their second
What do you mean
offsides
this time?
penalty
I
of
was
the
right.
game.
I was right on the.
That's right.
For two of the few times in the 11-game
You are.
season.
You're having a good game today, Roy.
I'm zebraing it up today.
We're going to keep it nice and tight on your shot here, Norman, on 3rd down and short now following the penalty.
I think
and
he didn't
Thornton,
get it. I think he is short. We shall see. They went back to the well again on that QB sneak and see what kind of spot they get.
The official calling for a measurement.
He got a good spot, but I don't know. Very close.
All right, we'll take a look as they bring the chains out here.
The winner of this game would play Arundel, who was he's the number 1 seed. Got a good spot. First down. Arundel would host that game next week.
Have a gray overcast afternoon here at North Point High School. Kickoff time 1 o'clock this afternoon. 3:47 left here in the first half. Old Mill on top, 10-0.
Toss sweep to Furman. Coming back across the grain. Breaks Stewart's tackle. Breaks another tackle by Zozak and picks up good yardage. Josh Furman. And Matt, you had asked about the colleges. Among them are Maryland and Rutgers, and schools like Virginia Tech and Michigan are looking at him on both for linebacker and running back. There's quarterback sneak, Thornton, and that could be a late hit coming up here. We'll see.
Trying to sneak the replay in of Furman, just some nice moves on that short run, but Old Mill quickly up to the line.
First down.
And a first down.
11 in the first half.
1st and 10 from the 49.
Furman again.
Furman breaks
Bouncing.
it outside, takes it into North Point territory down at the 44-yard line.
Just very, very methodical. North Point's got to be hoping, hey, we got to get out of this half without any more points being scored. We have been on our heels defensively the first half of this game.
So Furman takes his 1,500 yards rushing, heads to the sidelines. In comes Jason Clemens, 931 yards rushing. He's in at tailback now, number 10, on 2nd down and 4. Thornton gives to Clemens. Struggles ahead. He'll be just shy of the first down.
Yeah, he's a different style of runner. Pull on the stop. Clemens, not as big, 5'10", 187, but it's nice when you got 2 solid backs like that. There goes Clemens.
On 3rd and 1, slices through. First down inside North Point's 35.
Their offensive line for Old Mill is doing an outstanding job here. 2 minutes, 4 seconds to go.
Clock stops as they move the chains.
And remember, they do have the field goal kicker in Cummings.
His longest kick of the year, 33 yards. All right, clock starts now. That's what the holdup was. 1st and 10, Patriots from the Eagle 34.
Clements.
And Clements just slices right through the line again, and he's close to another Old Mill first down.
And the difference is those 70s, 76, 70, and 73, Bell, Dembisky, Richardson, all the offensive linemen for Old Mill just really pounding at the line of scrimmage.
Furman back in now, tailback, 2nd down and short. Thornton, the quarterback, and what a push. He got about 6 yards. He just needed 1. Just right up the middle. Nothing fancy.
Right. If there's a description, I would say they have North Point on their heels right now. They're backing up as this running attack has been very, very effective.
This North Point team has allowed more than 1 touchdown just once this year, 14 against Thomas Stone in Game 10, the most they've given up all season.
Furman.
Pitch to Furman on
Zozak.
1st and 10.
Nice play. Nice play by Anthony Zozak, who Furman wanted to cut it back, and Zozak said, nah. So he ran to the edge and made a good stop. And watch Zozak right here. As you see Furman want to cut it back, and Zozak just reaches out. Remember, a very good wrestler, so he's got that upper arm strength and was able to pull Furman down.
I have to ask Glenn Jones, is that 2 points for a takedown? Is that what that was?
There goes Furman to
2nd
the edge,
and 10,
turns
Furman
it up.
turns the corner, dives ahead. He'll have a first down, 1st and goal for Old Mill.
Cassius Sendish on the tackle. But boy, when he gets that far out on the edge and you don't have some black jerseys there, he's going to just turn that speed right on up. Quarterback sneak.
First and goal from the 2-yard line. Flags fly. Just over a minute left here in the first half.
Timeout.
And the North Point defense calls a timeout. Clock ticks down to 59 seconds, and we will step aside. Old Mill, 10. North Point, nothing here in the 4A East Region semifinals.
The Charles County High School Game of the Week is brought to you exclusively by VSE Productions. Log on to our website, vseproductions.com, for stats, standings, video highlights, and to order a copy of any Game of the Week broadcast. For more information, you can email us at gameoftheweek@vseproductions.com.
There you see Connor Crowell and Zozak and Allen and some of the other North Point defenders who are trying desperately to slow this Old Mill offense down, averaging 37.5. And I said I didn't think they'd be able to score that many. You got 2 wide receivers way out to the right, 1 defender, but I don't think they're going to go there.
Gaping hole. Furman walks in from 2 yards out, and it's now 16-0 Old Mill with 55 seconds left here in the first half. There you see Josh Furman just making it look easy behind that Old Mill offensive line.
Yeah, that was a very methodical drive, and Cummings in for the extra point.
Great job by our camera operators, Norman Hill, Andrew Seeger out here with us this afternoon. And to attempt the extra point, Brad Cummings has a field goal today and puts through his second extra point. Old Mill now on top, 17-0, and just take a look at it here. You watch the hole open up. Look at it.
Yep. Matt, you would have even been able to score on that one.
Well, I may have had turned sideways, but yeah, I probably could have.
You would want to
through.
shake and bake a little bit.
All right, so it's 17-0, 55 seconds to go here in the first half. North Point, again, looking for its first ever playoff victory, and boy, they're going to have to make some adjustments, Roy, at halftime.
Yeah, they're not, although they have come back in some games, but they were only down 1 score in those games where they came back to win. And at halftime, they're just going to have to really make some adjustments on both sides of the ball and try to get back into this game.
This is the most points the Eagles have allowed since their playoff loss last year against Douglas when they gave up 32, a 32-10 loss. Cummings tees it up, set to kick off again here.
The
two back deep for North Point. Is that Briscoe 29?
And Anakoya. But he's been pooch kicking to the up guys. And
this kick goes deep, and it will be fielded by Briscoe at the 9-yard line. Out over the 20, 25, 30, and Briscoe out to about the 38-yard line.
See if North Point tries to maybe throw some screens here. It's been tough because Dempsey just has not had a lot of time. They like those long crossing patterns with their tight end or their wide receivers, but quite frankly, Dempsey hasn't been able to set up and even look downfield.
So we take a look at Briscoe here.
Yeah,
nice return. Takes it out to the 38-yard line. 48 seconds left.
Furman lined up almost as a defensive end out here.
Holloman and Cassius Sendish, the 2 wideouts here on near side. Trey Scott.
So you have to know where he is to chip him. There he comes, and they chip him that time.
Scott blocks Furman, and this one's way too much air underneath it. Intercepted by Dion Briggs for Old Mill, and the Patriots now have a shot to get another score on the board before the half.
That's the second pick for North Point. And boy, I'll tell you, with this offense and with this skilled person that they have in Furman and also wide receiver in Hicks, they have another shot.
You see there as Scott made the block on Furman, but Dempsey just put too much air underneath that, and Briggs makes the interception.
Anthony Prince will be on Hicks. We want to keep an eye on that matchup.
Hicks is number 6, split out to the far side, but it's Furman again on the carry.
Oh, my.
Escapes a tackler in the backfield, and here comes Josh Furman. Near side, 30, 25. Kept in bounds down at the 24-yard line.
Jalen Hutchings on the tackle, but I'm going to add another descriptor to this young man, a long strider. Once he gets in space, he can really stretch it out. And got 28 seconds.
And we'll take a look at Furman
And
getting out of this would-be tackle in the backfield.
Right, and it looked like two guys that had him, and Furman and then he switches the ball, and when he gets in space, watch these strides. Watch how he lengthens the strides with the speed, and boy, all of a sudden it's a 25-yard gain just like that. And we had a touchdown saving tackle by Jalen Hutchings there as he knocks him out of bounds.
So Old Mill in business now at the 23-yard line. Just 28 seconds left here in the first half. And again, Cummings, his longest field goal of the year, 33 yards. If they don't get another yard, but you assume they will, this would be a 40-yard attempt.
They have a timeout remaining. You can use that to get your field goal team out on the field. Thornton signaling out to Hicks. We'll see what the call is here, Matt.
Hicks is 6, Briggs is 2. Thornton, though, gives to Clements. Breaking tackles down to the 15.
Boy, he ran through 2 or 3 tackles. But the clock will turn. 17 seconds.
Old Mill quickly back up to the line, down to
Gotta
13
be careful,
seconds.
a slant to Hicks right here.
Thornton back to pass.
Yep.
6 seconds on the clock.
Exactly.
Looking for Hicks. Pass incomplete. But
looked for that little slant right there.
The clock will stop, and that will give Cummings a chance to come in and attempt a 32-yard field goal here.
He is 7 out of 9 this year on field goal attempts.
$17-0 Old Mill. Cummings in to try to make it a 20-0 halftime lead.
The holder, 32, Austin Grist.
This will be a 32-yard attempt.
Short.
And this one,
well short.
about 5 yards short. Cummings, it was straight. He just got underneath it, and the kick no good, but everything else pretty good if you're an Old Mill Patriots fan. A 17-0 Old Mill lead as we hit the break here in the 4A East Region semis. Stick around. We've got halftime activities coming up from North Point High School. You're watching the Charles County High School Game of the Week. Matt Valen, Roy Anish back here at North Point High School. A 17-0 Old Mill lead here at the half. Kenny Lane talking to his team. Imagine what's going on there, Roy. How are they going to stop this Old Mill Patriot offense, and how is North Point going to generate some offense?
Yeah, let me talk about that first. I think they're going to have to come up with some big plays to try to get back into this. And the passing game, they haven't been able to keep defenders off of Dempsey to look downfield. And defensively, Old Mill's offensive line has won the battle of the trenches. And so they're going to it's going to be a gamble, but maybe commit more people to the line of scrimmage. But then say to Old Mill, if you're going to throw and beat us, fine. But they have just been quick off the ball. And then Josh Furman has been very impressive as a running back. And they've dominated the time of possession, and they've made all the big plays here. And Old Mill's been very impressive. So
right. Trey Scott has been bottled up for the most part in the first half.
That's why I say that I think they need some big plays, and maybe special teams is where they can get them, because being down 17-0 and with Old Mill's offensive capabilities, it's going to be a tough road to hoe.
Yeah, the Patriots average around 38 points a game on the season, 17 here at the half. Again, we want to thank Westlake High School, North Point High School, specifically Kenny Lane and A.K. Johnson here at North Point, Dom Zaccarelli at Westlake for sponsoring our coverage of the playoffs this year. We had Westlake and Potomac last night in the 3A South Region semis. Westlake won 30-12. Here in the 4A East, as we said, North Point down 17-0, and we've got a team playing. Now this game has been postponed till Monday. It's McDonough in 2A.
That's McDonough traveling right up the road to Gwynn Park, and that's a game I hope to see because I think it'd be very interesting. I think the two teams are very similar, and that would be really nice to see McDonough go up there and pull off an upset.
And one other county team in action this weekend. Their game postponed. They'll be playing this afternoon. I guess they're underway as we're playing here.
Well, it's 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lackey at Huntingtown.
And Huntingtown, of course, won the co-champions of the conference with North Point. And like Old Mill, was impressed when I saw Huntingtown with their offensive line. And you can see when you have a powerful offensive line what it can mean. when you get not only in the regular season but in the playoffs as well.
Well, the state of the county, I guess, is pretty good when you get 4 teams in the playoffs, but at what point do you say it's not enough to get in, we got to get in and win?
Well, and last year we did that, and when I say we, compositely, Charles County, Westlake won the championship, which was great, and we thought hopefully this year we maybe have a return trip to Raven Stadium, but we shall see. We're still alive with some.
All right, we've got a second half of action left. North Point's going to have to try and come back here, trailing 17-0 here in the 4A East Region semis. Second half action's coming up in just a moment.
The Charles County High School Game of the Week is brought to you exclusively by VSE Productions. Log on to our website, vseproductions.com, for stats, standings, video highlights, and to order a copy of any Game of the Week broadcast. For more information, you can email us at gameoftheweek@vseproductions.com.
Brad Cummings to kick off, Anacoya and Briscoe deep.
And you said we might need a big play from the special teams. Maybe one of these guys can provide it.
But Cummings has not been kicking it to the kick returners. He's been kicking it on pooch kicks to the up back, and we'll see again. Yep, there it goes. Just a little dribbler.
Squib kick.
Oh,
and goes through
goodness.
everybody.
Anacoya.
Picked up by Anacoya at the 10-yard line. Spins away and struggles, gets back up to the
Tell you what,
21. Could have been a lot worse.
That's right. Anacoya did very well on that play. First, number one, to get the football, and number two, just turn it straight up the field and get a little bit better field position. So we'll see if this North Point offense has made any changes at halftime here to try to get back in it.
There you see the offensive unit on the field. Number 7, quarterback, senior, Dan Dempsey. Under pressure in the first half every time he tried to throw the ball.
Crowell, Scott, the running backs.
Holloman in motion here near side. He had a big run in the first half.
Scott.
Trey Scott, short game.
Jason Clements, number 10.
Old Mill Patriots pitching a shutout here so far. Again, giving up 18 points a game. They've been involved in some shootouts.
Brian Ball out over the ball for North Point on Zozak, the tight end, 44.
Second down and 8. North Point from the 23. Dempsey under pressure again, sacked back at the 15-yard line.
Number 28 on the sack, Divine Giles, but Dempsey looked up and then tried to reset, and Matt, Giles were right on top of him.
There you see Dempsey adjusting the pads, and we'll check out the replay. He did not have a lot of time.
Watch, he's grabbed by either the shoulder pads or the back of the helmet right there and tossed. See the head go down? As he got tremendous pressure that time. Third
Dempsey
and very long.
came over to the sidelines talking to head coach Kenny Lane. We'll see what they have here on 3rd down and 16 from their own 15-yard line. Direct snap to Scott. Tries to turn the corner and gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Number 17 on the stop. McCargo blew that play up. And 3 and out for North Point on their first series.
So in comes the North Point punt unit, and then
Gian Hall.
Yeah, just a bad start here, beginning with the kick return, and the offense loses 6 yards in 3 plays. Back to receive the punt, Chad Hicks for Old Mill.
Allen averages 34 yards a kick.
And Allen gets a good one away, sends Hicks back to the Old Mill 45, and he takes it to the far sidelines into North Point territory, and they'll spot it at the 43-yard line.
In the first half, Old Mill had 14 first downs. North Point had 3. North Point was penalized 5 times for 35 yards. Old Mill was penalized once.
And it's not a surprise what Old Mill was going to do coming in here. They had 51 offensive touchdowns, 43 rushing, and just 8 passing.
Averaged over 300 yards rushing per game.
I formation, Josh Furman at tailback.
Lot of Eagles at the point of attack that time, including Zozak, Crowell, Garner. You got to put bodies on him and get him before he makes his cut. before he gets to the second level.
1 yard gain brings up 2nd down and 9. Spann at fullback, Furman at tailback. Quarterback, senior Joe Thornton up under center. Furman takes the pitch.
Looking.
Patient, but so was the North Point defense.
He
Good
was
close.
patient, and Jawan Poole was persistent. And Poole made the tackle. He averages 7 tackles a game, Poole, and he played that very well, as he just refused to let Furman turn that ball up. Clements in replacing Furman now.
On 3rd down and 8 from North Point's 41-yard line.
And there's a jump, right tackle jumps, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty against Ole Mill.
8 minutes, 45 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Ole Mill on top of North
Oh,
Point,
my
17-0. And North Point.
Oop, well, I missed that one. I'm
called
2 out of 3.
Offsides. And that makes it now 3rd and short. Spotted the ball now, the North Point 36-yard line. Hicks and Briggs, the wideouts to the far side. And Thornton back to pass.
Hicks open.
Looking for Hicks. Made a nice move to get separation and a touchdown from 36 yards away.
Penalty on the 30, flag on the 30.
And maybe roughing the quarterback.
Oh.
As Thornton.
That's near the line of scrimmage, though, Matt. Holding Ole Mill.
I thought Thornton was celebrating. I guess he was aggravated as the penalties
he
called
was
against the
aggravating,
Patriots.
not celebrating. So that's going to come back, and that's going to take a TD off the board.
Take a look here on replay, see if maybe we can pick the hold up.
All right, there's Thornton. Don't see it there.
And Thornton got leveled. And you see as Hicks had made a nice double move to get some separation, made the catch, but that one's coming off the board.
That North Point defensive backfield that has played so very well this year dodged one there.
So 3rd down and 13 now. High snap, Thornton pulls it down, takes off, and he'll get maybe a yard, and that'll bring up 4th and long.
Boy, a nice stop there. Looked like Nico Washington didn't budge on that play as Thornton just tried to run a quarterback quick hitter. And so Anakoya will be back trying to get something generated here, maybe through special teams, as Davidson is in for his 2nd punt.
Anakoya standing at North Point's 15-yard line. And Davidson, under some pressure, gets the kick away, angles it to the far side. And this one will go out of bounds at about the 23, where North Point will take over for its 2nd offensive possession.
20-yard kick for Davidson.
7:43 as you take a look at Josh Furman. Been a busy guy here. 17-0 Old Mill here in the 4A East Region semifinals. We're back in just a moment. The North Point offense has been shut out here in the 4A East Region semis against Ole Mill, looking for something, trailing 17-0. Dempsey under a little bit of pressure, though, got the ball away and almost intercepted.
Holloman, and there comes a late hit on Ole Mill. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty. As Dempsey really unloaded that one. And
we'll see here on the replay. Dempsey had a hand in his face as he let it go.
He was lucky to get that ball off. You can see the left hand coming up. And you can watch at the end of the play, you'll see the push is just out of the outstretched hands. And watch the push right there. 15-yard penalty.
A.J. Butler there defensively, the defensive back, who had the penalty called on him. So North Point will benefit from this as the officials huddle up out here on the field.
And last night, we saw plenty of huddles, over 20 penalties called in that game last night. And there were 2 penalties where personal fouls were assessed both ways, and they marked the 15 and marked 15 back twice.
So following the penalty, the Eagles have it 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line.
Hard run inside.
Connor Crowell, I believe, on the carry. Took it out close to the 44.
Picked up about four yards on the play.
So Dempsey stretch of the field with the pass, giving the Old Mill defense at least something else to think about here. And now a good run on first down, call it 6 yards, so 2nd down and 4 for the Eagles.
Garner and Washington, the guards. McManus, Gartrell, tackles. To the 45-yard line, very, very short yardage on that play. Was Trey Scott, who's been held in check here by the Old Mill defense.
We got an interesting situation in the press box here at North Point High School. The Old Mill coaches are right next to us to our left, and the North Point coaches in the booth are just past us to the right. So opposing teams up here sharing the same press box here this afternoon. You may be able to hear some of the coaches in the background occasionally.
Officials
Dempsey
conferring with the North Point coaches.
Got Dempsey and Scott over here on the sidelines. As Dempsey comes back in, I think Scott may have had an equipment issue. He stays on the sidelines. Here on 3rd down.
Now going over to talk to Coach Ferragamo.
See the referee on the far side of the screen. Old Mill head coach Damian Ferragamo, a 34-10 overall record in his 4th year with the Patriots. Kenny Lane, North Point's head coach, his 3rd year, a 21-10 record. Looking for his first playoff win here today. And we do not have the benefit of a microphone on the referee, so we're just watching along with you fans. Now it says the stick says 2nd down on the far sidelines. The scoreboard says 3rd down.
Crowell, the deep back. Turns
Connor
it inside.
Crowell will come up short, and it'll be 3rd down and short.
Stopped initially by number 3, Josh Furman. He's had a well-rounded game.
So 3rd down and 1 for the Eagles from their own 47-yard line. 6:43 left here in the 3rd quarter. North Point trails Old Mill 17-0.
This time, Poole was the deep back, Crowell the up back. Poole. Clements on the stop, but Poole gets North Point's 4th first down of the game.
Takes it into Old Mill territory down at the 46-yard line. 1st down, Eagles.
6:28 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Poole and Crowell check out as Dan Dempsey brings the play into the offensive huddle. Cassius Sendish, James Holloman, the 2 wideouts to the far side. Trey Scott split out here, Roy, to the near side. And now he's in motion.
Inside
Takes the handoff.
Trey makes a nice cut to pick up 4 or 5 on the play. A nice new little wrinkle run by North Point on that play as our Charles County's leading rusher, Trey Scott, picked up 4.
Take a look here on the replay. You see Scott in motion.
The inside handoff. And Scott just being very patient. He gets a block on the edge there and then turns it up. Makes a nice cut. Picks up 4 or 5 yards. Scott flanked out again. Now
You
he
see
comes to
Scott in
recess.
motion again here on 2nd down, a long 6.
The
Bad
reverse.
snap and a double handoff as
Holloman.
Scott gives to Holloman. Got some blocks out here on the near side. Holloman wrapped up at about the
Dempsey,
38.
easy. Dempsey, you're going to be careful. Be careful. Officials down there separating them. Some bumping going on out of bounds as Dempsey threw a nice block. And Holloman has made his 2nd nice run, Matt. That was on a flanker reverse. Some tempers flaring there momentarily. But 3rd and about 2 for North Point. Crowell, the deep back.
3rd and 2 from the Old Mill 38. Crowell takes the handoff, stood up right at the line, and it'll be 4th and short.
A.J. Butler, the senior, number 5, who's been on a number of big plays, stopped him there. And obviously you have to go for it here.
A.C. Butler, the senior defensive back for the Old Mill Patriots. 4th and 2 for the North Point offense, trailing 17-0, 4.5 minutes left here, third quarter. Holloman coming out here near side along with Sendish.
Matt, this is almost a must-make.
Poole at tailback, Crowell at fullback. Poole hit and stop, and North Point will turn it over on downs. That was Poole. Looked like he tried to make a little bit of a cut.
Yeah.
The little stutter step didn't get him anywhere.
So Old Mill takes over. Good field position as North Point's drive stalls. Been a frustrating offensive afternoon.
Take a look at Poole here. You see him stop and try to cut.
Yeah, the space was to the outside, but he just couldn't bounce it out.
So the Old Mill defense stops the North Point drive.
Thornton to the 41-yard line.
And time ticking down here, under 4 minutes left in the third quarter. And a little dive by the quarterback next about 4 yards for the Patriots.
See Old Mill huddling right at the line of scrimmage, looking over to get a play call from the sidelines.
Furman, number 3 on the field. Spann, number 4. And at fullback. 2 wideouts far side. Thornton gives to Furman.
Not this time.
Push back for a loss on this play.
Initial stop was made by number 42 for North Point. Rogera Tyson, the sophomore, with a good stop. So 3rd and long.
Take a look at it here on replay as Furman met right there.
By Tyson.
Push back for a loss.
Crowell threatening a blitz here.
3rd down and 8. Thornton
Good
back
sack.
to pass, wrapped up and sacked. Jawan Poole, the first one in there for the North Point Eagles.
Jeremy Johnson as well, and Poole and Johnson finally put some pressure on the quarterback and brought him down. And so North Point stops Old Mill out of 1st down, and now we need a big play on special teams here, Matt. This is something just to generate some points.
And North Point dropping 2 players back, Roy, to receive this punt. Anakoya and I believe Briscoe. They both stand at the North Point 30-yard line. North Point.
Short kick again.
Like Crowell almost got a hand on that one. This one will be out of bounds at the Eagle 46-yard line. So great starting field position for the North Point offense. 2:17 left here in the third quarter. Old Mill 17, North Point nothing here in the 4A East Region semifinals. I'm Matt Volland along with Roy Yanish, Andrew Seeger, and Norman Hill, your Game of the Week crew, here on a cloudy Saturday afternoon.
That weather forecast was brought to you by Doug Hill Volland, Channel 96 weather.
Trey Scott, the up back, a little burst at about a 4-yard gain on 1st down.
Into Old Mill territory.
We'll give him 5, call it 2nd down and 5.
This is I think was the perfect game plan. That couldn't have gone better for Old Mill. Get up early to try to take that North Point defense out of the game and make their offense come up with some scores.
Scott again lined up at the fullback spot. Anakoya at tailback struggles ahead for a gain of 1.
Stop made by 33, Seth Holbrook, sophomore.
Anakoya on the season, 658 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, and an impressive 12-yard average per carry.
Next year he will be their feature tailback with Scott graduating. Dempsey graduates. Crowell is back.
3rd down and 4. Scott in motion.
Crowell
fumbles the ball.
Number 5.
Picked up by Old Mill's A.J. Butler, and here goes Butler on the return into North Point territory at the 40 and inside North Point's 30-yard line.
And Brian Ball, the center over there, with a touchdown saving tackle as The ball came out of Crowell's hands, and Butler picked it up. Big break there. Ouch. That hurts.
Good run by Crowell, but as he was popped, ball came loose, and we'll take a look at it here on the replay. Crowell striving ahead, really looked like he was just lunging for more yardage as the ball came out, picked up by Butler, and quickly will get you back to live action.
Tyson and Hutchings on the tackle, pick up about 4 or 5. Old Mill back in the red zone.
44 seconds left here in the third quarter. A 17-0 Patriot lead. See everybody at the line looking over to the sidelines to get the offensive play call.
Clements back in at tailback.
Second down and 3, and flags fly.
Should be a 5-yard penalty against Old Mill. We shall see. Third penalty against Old Mill.
North Point defense needs to come up with a stop here.
And a turnover.
A turnover
as well.
would be nice.
Yeah. Threatening run blitz, and we got a movement on the line, but they reset.
Clock ticking down to 5 seconds left in the quarter, and Old Mill will just let the quarter run out. No scoring in the third quarter for either team. The Old Mill Patriots continue to lead 17-0 here in the 4A East Region semifinals. Stick around. We've got fourth quarter action coming up. Wait a minute. We're not going yet. The officials are huddling up.
We have
I think there are some questions as to whether the clock should have been
a zebra seminar
running at all. And let's see.
What difference does it make?
Well, I think there were 7 seconds left when they reset the ball, then the clock started.
Unless Old Mill will have to get a play off or have delay a game.
Okay, looks like, I guess we're going to have an untimed play here. Okay, so second down and 8. This will be the last play of the quarter. Pitch to Furman.
Bouncing, turning.
Takes it inside the 20, close to an Old Mill first down.
Sendish on the stop.
And that.
Furman is down on the ground, and that will end the quarter.
All right, we're going to step aside. We'll be back with fourth quarter action. It's Old Mill 17, North Point nothing here on the Game of the Week.
The Charles County High School Game of the Week is brought to you exclusively by VSE Productions. Log on to our website, vseproductions.com, for stats, standings, video highlights, and to order a copy of any Game of the Week broadcast. For more information, you can email us at gameoftheweek@vseproductions.com.
As we get set to start fourth quarter action, you see Josh Furman, the running back for Old Mill, being helped off the field, injured in the last play of the third quarter. Bring it back down to the other side of the field where Old Mill has it 3rd down and 1 from the North Point 20.
Trying to bounce it outside to pick up the first down. Connor Crowell on the stop, Allen with the finish. First down.
So the Old Mill offense may be without the services of Josh Furman for the remainder of this one, but Clements, number 10, has been rushing well all afternoon long.
Closing in on 1,000 yards rushing for the season. Comes a run blitz by North Point, and Clements dances to the 14-yard line.
John Allen, number 6, one of those in there defensively. So North Point the last 2 years had a pretty good regular season, but hit a roadblock once they made it to the playoffs.
There have been no points scored here in the second half.
Second down and 7.
Thornton resets.
Clements, the tailback.
Allen, 4-yard gain. With number 6, Gian Allen, averages 4.5 tackles a game. He made a stop there. 3rd and 3.
Spotted the ball just outside North Point's 10-yard line. There you see 7, Thornton, 10, Clements, 4, Spann.
We have not seen 4 run the football yet, have we? The fullback?
I don't think so. And
he's a good blocker.
Right.
QB sneak, that's been run several times.
And it'll bring up 4th down and short for the Old Mill offense. Do you bring in the field goal kicker, or do you go for the dagger here, try and get a touchdown?
The field goal would still make it 3 scores, so I think they'll go for it. Coach Ferragamo, by the way, the coach at Old Mill, was college roommates with 2 Charles County teachers. Matt, did you know that trivia?
I did not know that.
Do you care to know that
Surprisingly
trivia?
enough.
Steve Willett, assistant baseball coach at La Plata, and Brad Williams, a vice principal, Davis Middle. Clements
on the carry, and he's got an Old Mill first down. Well, I guess the question is, where did Ferragamo go wrong? Ended up at Old Mill instead of here.
With those 2 guys, right?
So the carry takes it down just
thanks.
outside the 5, and it's 1st and goal, Old Mill. And time ticking down, 2.5 minutes gone here in the 4th quarter. So even if North Point can somehow stop, maybe get a turnover here, the time was certainly a factor now. Clements wrapped up and dropped for no gain.
Jay Poole, Zozak on the stop. Poole, a senior, Zozak, a junior. A lot of this defense, Matt, will be back next year for North Point. A lot of underclassmen.
Here you see Clements on the carry, try and bounce outside.
And Poole and makes the stop.
2nd and goal, Patriots from the 5-yard line. Briggs in motion, the handoff.
Clements 2 yards. Down to the 2-yard line.
We got Nico Washington in there defensively for North Point.
Yeah, he's one of the few seniors on that defensive unit. Darrell Stewart, Cliff McManus, Zozak.
Trips out here near side. Thornton up under center, just one back behind him.
sneak.
And Thornton pushes ahead on 3rd down and goal.
It'll be 4th and 4/10 of a yard to go. But on short yardage situations, they love the QB sneak, don't they?
It's been very successful here today, that's for sure. Old Mill, 12 playoff appearances in the school's history. This team's returned 5 starters on offense and defense this year. Trying to make a push to the playoffs this year.
Sneak,
and
and I don't know if he made it.
Push into the end zone. Thornton
The
on 4th
FAR
and goal.
official spotting it at the half-yard line.
Old Mill did not make it. The North Point
That's
defense
something
holds.
to cheer about for
Right.
the North Point fans. So went back to that quarterback sneak, and North Point shut her down.
So the Eagles fans on their feet. There you see head coach Kenny Lane talking with
Dempsey.
senior quarterback Dan Dempsey. Can't make a mistake here. We'll get a shot of where that ball is, just outside the goal line. Not a lot of margin for error, as you can see. Dempsey heads into the offensive huddle. 7:16 left here in the 4th quarter.
Brian Ball out over the ball.
Crowell at fullback. Scott at tailback.
Quarterback sneak.
Dempsey just takes it himself, and a little breathing room now for the North Point offense.
Got it out close to the 3-yard line.
Dempsey on the season, 616 passing yards, 7 touchdowns for the North Point offense.
Dempsey resetting.
Sendish wide here near side. Holloman wide to the far side.
Toss sweep. Scott got about another half yard to a yard. You can't stay in the end zone too long on that toss sweep because Dempsey going back to get the play from Kenny Lane. Going to re-huddle.
6:20 left here, fourth quarter.
I want to remember to talk about the light pole situation that here at North Point, the reason why there's a day game, but I don't want to do it down here with the ball down here. Dempsey
fakes the pitch, now throwing
open.
Wide open. Zozak runs into the defensive back. No flag on the play, and that'll bring up fourth down.
That's one of the few times that Dempsey really had time. And well, the light poles were taken down because they were defective, Matt. The lights are still, you can see them on the sidelines here, but the metal shop vocational students were able to cut the poles up and use them for metal. But Kenny Lane said that the poles, the new ones, should be here hopefully to be installed later this winter or early next year so that they will be available for next football season. Penalty
Flag
on the
flies
play.
as the punt is kicked away by Poole. I'm sorry, by Allen, John Allen. Ball rolls out at the 40-yard line. We'll check the flags, but let's take a look at the replay of the pass from Dempsey to Zozak.
Dempsey has time to set, plant, and Zozak's running, and he's open down the middle of the field, and he stops right here and initiates the contact with the defensive back. And
one of the few times he's had time, that fake pitch to Scott froze the defense, but the pass fell incomplete. North Point forced to punt. Now Old Mill, as you see, has the ball at the Eagle 40-yard line.
Clements is going to remain probably at tailback. We probably won't see Furman any further.
Briggs in motion. Clements on the carry. About 4 yards on first down.
Spinning, cutting.
And you talked about the
Allen on stop.
you talked about the lights. It only cost North Point one home game, and that was the first game, I guess, after they discovered the problem. They were supposed to host Lackey. They ended up traveling to Lackey, and North Point eventually won that game 13-7 in overtime. And Lackey's field conditions became a topic of conversation after that one. I believe it was Trey Scott who said, if we'd have been on our field on this nice turf, it may have been a different story.
But it also affects JV programs and freshman programs, and affects some other sports that use the field as well at night. Clements,
second
close
down,
to first down.
6 carry, dives ahead.
So this looks like the second round of the playoffs will be an Anne Arundel County replay.
Darrell Stewart in there defensively for North Point. See quarterback Joe Thornton giving some offensive signals here on 3rd down and 2. Two wideouts here near side. Time ticking down to 4.5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Hitting the backfield. They've been hitting the backfield a lot, Roy, but he still surged ahead and may have gotten the first down.
Matt, if Old Mill holds on, they would play Arundel, the number 1 seed. They played them in game 1. They're both from Anne Arundel County. Arundel's undefeated. Arundel beat them 34-27 in game 1.
And that was a home game for Old Mill. They'll be at Arundel in the rematch. First down from the 29-yard line.
Clements
surges ahead. Another positive carry on first down. Well, you talked about some of the players coming back from North Point, some of those graduating. What do you see as the future for this Eagle team? And maybe hold that thought and think about it. We got a timeout on the field, 3:57 to go. It's Old Mill 17, North Point nothing here in the 4A East Region semis. 3:57 left here in the fourth quarter. And Roy, let's get back to the question I asked you before the break. What do you see as the future of this North Point team?
Well, on defense, they've got a lot of people back. Crowell's back. Hutchings is back. Prince, the defensive back, is back. Tyson, a linebacker. Zozak, a linebacker. Garner, a lineman. McManus, a lineman. So they've got a lot of pieces. On offense, they lose Trey Scott. They lose Dempsey. They lose a wideout in Sendish. Holloman. Their offensive and defensive lines back almost in its entirety. So Zach is going to sack the quarterback, and there's going to be a hold called on the play as well. But Zozak shed the block, the hold, and still made the sack. So the tinkering will be on the offensive side of the ball for North Point next year, Matt. And you'll see Zozak as he breaks free, and he was held on the play, but broke the block and made the sack.
Now, wasn't one of the questions coming into this season the line play for the Eagles, and people were surprised at how well they did this year.
Right, with 5 new offensive linemen and primarily new defensive linemen. Kenny Lane and line coach Chuck Miles have developed maybe a 7 or 8 man rotation for next year, so they think they got some pieces and some things they've got to do on offense to try to generate some more scoring.
Clements
shaking and spinning.
Again, Josh Furman, the leading carrier for Old Mill, injured earlier in the game. He is on the sidelines. We do not expect to see any more of him, and another timeout.
Until
next week.
Next week, and then on Saturdays following that, he will be playing at some college. He is a Division I prospect.
3:17 left here, fourth quarter. We're back in a moment. North Point looking to hold Old Mill here, 4th down and 9 from the Eagle 28-yard line. 3:17 left here, fourth quarter. Old Mill 17-0 lead.
Play fake.
Play action, Thornton. Receivers will blanket it, and Thornton will take off with it now, and he has some room. Turns the corner.
Prince misses the tackle and
takes it inside the 5-yard line where
down.
He is leveled by Sendish. What a hit.
And also the official goes tumbling. But boy, Thornton reversed field and really made a big-time play.
Looking to pass, his receivers were covered, and as we pick it up here on the replay, Thornton is already on the run.
Yeah, and watch him bounce it outside, clear across the grain, and watch he picks up a nice block, a chip block from 73. But they have got some nice backs in Thornton, Clements, Furman.
You just saw the
wide
hit there
receiver
at the end.
Hicks.
Yeah, had to speed it up so we could sneak it in, and we get back to Old Mill 1st and goal from the 3. Clements with icing on the cake. 3 minutes exactly left here, fourth quarter, and Old Mill up now 23-0. Clements from 3 yards away.
It's been all Old Mill scoring in this game.
Brad Cummings in to attempt the extra point for the Patriots.
High snap, good kick.
Kick is up and good. 20-0. Old Mill over North Point, but we do have some champions down on the sidelines. The North Point Eagles cheerleaders, Charles County champions this year, Roy.
All right.
Get a look at them down there.
La Plata finished 2nd in competition that was held here at North Point High School, so congratulations to the North Point cheerleaders.
24-0 Old Mill. We invite you to visit our website, vseproductions.com. You can catch highlights of all of our Game of the Week broadcasts. Had 2 of them this weekend, the Westlake win over Potomac and our game here tonight. And we also will have information, fans, about our postseason show. We're working on that. I had to take a breath there. Boy, it's a lot of work, that postseason show. We hope you fans enjoy it. We've got highlights.
It's a lot of fun to do. And
all of our broadcasts this year. Yeah, Roy says he's got some tricks up his sleeve, so.
I certainly do. And I have freedom and no editorial
I don't know about that.
Restrictions. We've got some crowd shots for some folks that I'm not sure that they know that they're on, so it ought to be fun.
Right.
And we'll have highlights of all the big plays and from all the 6 Charles County teams.
All right, this is our 10th game. We did miss 1 week
11.
of the
I'm sorry,
season.
we did 2 this
That's
week.
right. That's right. 2 playoff
My
games.
math
Our
is
11th broadcast.
usual is bad. Gian Allen returns it to the 40-yard line. So about 2:54 remaining, and see what happens here.
And for North Point now, just trying to avoid the shutout with less than 3 minutes to go. They'd like to get something on the board. Trailing 24-0. So Old Mill Patriots defense has bent but not broken. North Point has had some success, turned the ball over a couple of times when they had some promising drives going. Dempsey to pass,
Sendish.
complete to Sendish, and that'll be a North Point first down at Old Mill's 48-yard line.
Dempsey 2 out of 7 to Sendish.
And North Point quickly up to the line of scrimmage.
Sendish, one of the leading receivers on North Point's team this season.
8 catches, 172 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Sendish during the regular season.
Look for maybe Crowell on the... Nope, we're going to have a run by Dempsey trying to push him forward.
Scott on the
Trey
carry.
Scott, rather. And there's a senior that they'll miss. Matt, you said he had over 900 yards rushing this year, had 1,440 last year. So he has been their leading ball carrier for 2 years in a row. And
Dempsey back to pass
Furman,
again, and look who's in there. Furman, who missed the
flag on
chance
the play.
at the sack. Dempsey's throw downfield is incomplete, and two
Another
flags
flag.
now. The referee threw a flag back here behind the play as Dempsey.
But the Old Mill coach is complaining, but we're going to have a procedure call and a personal foul. Procedure call on North Point, personal foul on Old Mill. But how can a 15 and a 5 be offsetting? But that's the high school rules.
I'll show you the 15 here in a second on replay if I can get it queued up.
All right.
All right. Take a look at what happens to Dempsey.
Okay.
After he lets this ball go.
Dempsey's rolling out, looking. We'll see. Now he throws the ball one
right
step.
There.
Boom. Close.
Pass incomplete. And the official now saying the 5 and the 15 offset. So it's second down from just outside the 45 of Old Mill. Clock running, 1:52 left here.
17.
Dempsey under pressure, sack, pass
59.
intercepted by a defensive lineman for Old Mill. Justin Mullins picks it off, and that's the story of the game here today for North Point.
But that was Joe McCargo with the hit on Dempsey, and then Mullins with the INT. So that should just about do it, and Old Mill can run out the clock and advance to the second round.
And that's been the story of the day. Every time North Point seems to get something going, Old Mill had an answer defensively.
Clements
still churning his legs, heading to the far side, takes it inside the 20-yard line. Nice run there by Jason Clements, senior running back for the Patriots.
And folks, if you heard some yelling behind us on some of Old Mill's plays, the Old Mill coaches were right next to us, and some of it may have bled into our broadcast.
They're gone now.
Yeah, they were very exuberant sometimes. So it wasn't us cheering for Old Mill, it was their coaches.
1:15 left here, fourth quarter.
Fumbled snap, but the quarterback was able to recover, Thornton. Well, we'll see what next week brings. We see if any Charles County teams advance to the second round.
Lackey playing tonight. McDonough playing on Monday.
Westlake won, and now the only matter for Westlake is whether the alleged eligibility violation would be found, and they would have to forfeit the game. If not, they would play the winner of Huntingtown and Lackey. But as you're watching this broadcast, that information may be known to you, and go to the website, vseproductions.com, and we'll have it as soon as we get it.
Clock stops on a penalty, 23 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. So the North Point Eagles will end their season at 10-1, the lone loss coming here in the playoffs. Perfect 10-0 regular season, first in school history. The team was first in the Southern Maryland Athletic Conference in points allowed, just 5 a game, but no match tonight for Old Mill's offensive line and tandem of running backs. And the Patriots will now just down the ball to run the clock out. After they pick up another penalty.
We want to thank head coach Kenny Lane and athletic director A.K. Johnson, and also PA announcer Keith Spencer. He's always been very hospitable, and the entire North Point staff helping us. And I'll have to say this, Matt, throughout the county, all the ADs and the head coaches have treated us with the utmost cooperation and respect.
Everybody we share the press box with as well, Roy, PA announcers included. We just we enjoy visiting every Charles County school. Glad we were able to do that. I think we hit them all this year, didn't we? This was the final stop here on our Charles County tour, North Point High School. Kenny Lane, A.K. Johnson, thanks so much for sponsoring this game and helping us to get it on the air. The final score here today from North Point, the Old Mill Patriots 24, the North Point Eagles nothing here in the 4A East Region semifinals. Stick around, we're going to wrap things up. We'll be back with more of the Game of the Week in just a moment.
The Charles County High School Game of the Week is brought to you exclusively by VSE Productions. Log on to our website, vseproductions.com, for stats, standings, video highlights, and to order a copy of any Game of the Week broadcast. For more information, you can email us at gameoftheweek@vseproductions.com.
Matt Valen, Roy Anish back here at North Point High School. A 24-0 Old Mill win over the North Point Eagles here in the 4A East Region semifinals, and from start to finish, this was Old Mill's day.
Yeah, you said it exactly correct. They established right early that they were going to be able to run the football and to get an early lead, and their linemen, quite frankly, dominated the line of scrimmage early. They set the tempo and just continued it throughout the whole game. Josh Furman was as good as advertised, a very good runner. And offensively, I thought Old Mill is a very, very good football team. And North Point was just not able to come back after getting down 10-0 early.
For North Point, their second consecutive trip to the playoffs and their second consecutive exit in the first round. I was going to ask you, do you think it makes a difference that they made the step, which really is a step up, I guess, from 2A to 4A? Do you think that made a difference in their preparation for the playoffs this year? Was it a little bit tougher facing a 4A opponent?
Well, last year's 2A was
right.
A tremendous region. 4A, you're going to have bigger teams and bigger players, different style. Now that you're playing Anne Arundel schools, they're offensively focused. 2A, I think, probably is a little more defensively focused. But the competition is competition, and you've got to play who you're given in the playoffs. And it's a learning process for this program, and they've got to adjust. And like we talked about, they've got a lot of people back on defense, so they're solid there. And then on offense, they can do some tinkering with some new people and try to put more points on the board next year.
Right, for North Point, a perfect 10-0 regular season, their second consecutive trip to the playoffs, their second consecutive share of the Southern Maryland Athletic Conference football title. Certainly nothing to be ashamed of here. This program is headed in the right direction under head coach Kenny Lane. Well, we've got some more playoffs. McDonough is going to be playing on Monday. This game may be on Monday. They may be playing as you're watching this. McDonough playing in 2A, Lackey and Huntingtown playing tonight. Visit our website, VSE Productions. We'll have all kinds of scores and highlights, and we'll have information about possible future football broadcasts here on Channel 96, and we'll also have information about our postseason show that's coming up. Once again, we want to thank Kenny Lane, A.K. Johnson here at North Point High School. Thank our camera operators, Andrew Seeger and Norman Hill. For Roy Anish, I'm Matt Vollen. Appreciate you joining us for the Charles County High School Game of the Week.